had told you a year or so ago that Bayley was going to be called up to the main roster and then be unintentionally booed, you would have told me, you would have said, Simon, you are crazy. And I've been like, you know what, you're probably right. One of the most lovable and easy to warm characters in NXT, she was often described as the next John Cena in the sense she had a rapport with kids, and loads of kids, especially little girls, loved her. You can't replicate that. People loved it. And this was really important too because WWE's never really had somebody like that, or at least not in that mold. Bayley then was special. Now they've ruined it. So yeah, the hugger is now getting a negative reaction on Raw, and it's nuts. Why? Here's why. Now I'll admit I've never been the biggest fan of Bayley, but I don't think I was ever meant to be. She wasn't really aimed at somebody of my demographic. I enjoyed her in-ring work and I thought her matches with Sasha Banks were very good, but I didn't necessarily tune in to see her week in and week out. And I'm sure there's lots of people like me or of the same age or they're men or whatever that did like Bayley, and that's great. But her real appeal, her special magic was it was a bit like she was your big sister and she was going into battle for you. She was protecting you. She was willing to fight for you. And that's how she came across, be it when having a match or when cutting promos. Just a really nice, lovely person, and we're going to overuse the word lovely here, so prepare yourself. But when she got in there, she could go. She had the talent, she had the skill. And that's pretty unique, you know? She didn't need to be a super badass, she was just Bayley, and being Bayley was enough. It's how and why she made a name for herself in NXT, and it was great to see somebody wearing their heart so openly on her sleeve. Bayley just loved wrestling and she was just happy to be here. And that was okay, because of course it's okay. We could all learn a thing or two from Bayley. Fast forward to today and all of that has been scrunched up into a big ball and then just hurled into the toilet. As opposed to a real person who is skilled in the ring, WWE decided that Bayley should actually come across like a child, and everything they built up has just fallen apart. This did hit a new low recently when she came out on Raw in Toronto, Canada, and she told everyone, I'm not going to be able to compete at SummerSlam for the title because I've got a real injury. The crowd booed her. They booed her. They booed her. So we're now not only chastising Bayley for simply being Bayley, and that's been happening more and more, but now we're doing it because she went and got injured. What a sad state of affairs. Now you could argue that maybe the crowd were actually voicing their displeasure at the fact that she was injured and that she's not going to be able to compete at SummerSlam. But that's not true, so let's not kid ourselves and pretend that's not true. That's not what they were doing. And on top of that, there's plenty of evidence before all of this that proves in 2017 all this has just been a downward spiral. And all these problems did kind of start when she did win the women's title. Bayley didn't win it as clean as maybe she should have done, and WWE were keen to remind everyone that and just ram it down our throats, right down to Stephanie McMahon coming out, looking at Bayley and going, you don't deserve that title, love. You don't deserve it. Bayley was undeserving and she should give the title back, and it's alright for Stephanie to say that. Stephanie's a heel. But what did Bayley do, or at least what was Bayley booked to do? Say, you're right, Steph, but screw that, I'm going to keep the title anyway. Great idea. Great plan. Let's have our new champion agree with the fact that she shouldn't be champion. That will do gangbusters. Strike one. Following on from that, she was just treated as a weak champion and she could never get the job done properly and usually just squeaked out a win. Strike two. That's one. Two. And that's when it all got really bad. If you've already forgotten her original feud with Alexa Bliss, I'd advise you to stay that way because reminding yourself about it is just going to make yourself cry. It was not good, and even now a few months on, it's still not good. Obviously. The worst moment was when she voiced displeasure about maybe having to use a kendo stick against Alexa Bliss because that's not the type of person she was. That's not the type of person she was. She didn't want to inflict any pain on her opponent despite the fact that she's a professional wrestler. Imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock had said that. Well, I don't want to hurt anybody. Jeez, calm down. Regardless whether you're a face or whether you're a heel, you have to have some kind of edge to your character in 2017. Otherwise, the audience is just going to roll their eyes as they did here. And I know you're now thinking, why the hell is this moron comparing Bayley to either Stone Cold or The Rock? Well, why not? I'm not saying she's ever going to be as big as those guys, but why not give her the same opportunities and try and allow her to shine? Don't deliberately take her in the opposite direction because going in the opposite direction ends in a bad place. And why the hell would you ever want to end in a bad place where you could look to the past and go, well, these were things that worked. maybe we could try that with this person. This really did hit a wall when Alexa and Bayley did have their kendo stick match, and it may have been the worst thing in wrestling this year. The finish came out of nowhere, and it was just a joke and it didn't help anybody. And yes, Bliss was involved in that too, but she came out the other end as the champion, and if you've got gold around your waist, well, that's going to help you get over anything. Also, when it comes to promos, she's been handling herself a lot better, or at least being given the opportunity to handle herself better, and Bayley hasn't been given that at all. And sure, some of that blame has to go on Bayley's shoulders, because I'm sure she could have delivered some of these promos a bit better, but that's not the issue here. She's always given stupid things to say and always comes across as really whiny and moany. And that's not the Bayley we know. The Bayley we know, or at least used to know, was the upbeat, positive Bayley. Where is that Bayley? Ultimately, she's been booked as a loser. Somebody that's undeserving of all her success, and nobody in the world should even think about getting behind her. And whether the fans are booing her or booing the booking of her, they've started to pick up on this, and it's starting to show each and every week on TV or pay-per-view or wherever you are. Either way, it all comes down on her shoulders, straight to the point that maybe we actually have to discuss Bayley turning heel. What world do we live in? It just baffles me how somebody backstage can't see all the mistakes that are making. Surely you look at all the momentum you had before and just go, why don't we just do that? But we're not, and if anything, we're actively ignoring that, which is nuts. And yeah, she's had her moments and of course been champion, but that was just a small shining light amidst a lot of darkness. And that's a bit extreme, but I'm really trying to push the point home here. It's just not good enough. Bad decisions for a character will always take their toll, especially because we're all hopped up on backstage news and want to know everything. All that just adds fuel to the fire. So you're taking the on-screen persona and the off-screen persona, you're pushing it together, you don't like the way she is on TV, you don't like the way she's being used, and then look what we got. Again, Raw, Toronto, Canada, booed. And it's just sad, really, because Bayley is a one of a kind and she should have been put in that envelope from day one. Let's just keep doing what we were doing on NXT and be careful here because we do have something special. And don't tell me it's because she's now on the main roster and her gimmick only worked in NXT. Go and watch when she first popped up on Raw and see how the crowd reacted to her. They loved her. They were desperate to see her here. They still would be too if she hadn't been run into the ground. And of course, no one is past being rehabbed. There's every chance we could take a few weeks or take a few months, and by the end of it, we do allow Bayley to get to where Bayley needs to be. But how you do that, I don't know. You can't just revert to the original plan now, because that's going to feel really weird, really disjointed. So you kind of screwed up. It's really just another case of WWE mishandling a talent that not only could have been the rock for the whole women's division, but at the very least could have been very kid-friendly, sold a load of merchandise and made children go, you know what, when I grow up I want to be a wrestler. But now, we're booing her, because she got hurt trying to entertain us. Jeez. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Bayley. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com and read more articles. Then go to Twitter and find What Culture there at What Culture WWE. My name is Simon from What Culture. This was the Y Series. If you're mad, that's what the comments are there for. You know what you write? I don't like this guy. He's an idiot. And so on and so on. It's all good, baby. It's all good.